My name is Bill Henderson. I've been carving for many years. Learned from my father, Sam Henderson. Watched him making his tools when I was growing up. I just learned by watching. There was no TV when I was young. And I just watched him using his tools. When we get them tempered, we turn them red hot. We bend them. I'll get a chunk of hard metal, like a big file, and I just put it on the hard metal. When it's red hot, I just grab it and I push it like that. You know, there's no, they got some tools nowadays you can bend them with, but that's how I do mine. I just bend it like that, and it's red hot. Then you put it in the heat again, turn it red, and then you dip it in oil. And it just gets, the metal probably you get white, turn white, it's so hard. Now you can break it like a potato chip. So you shine it right shiny, then you put it back over the heat until it turns golden brown. That should be the one. And when they're red hot, we put them to the grinder, clean them all off, and have the blade going. If you're left, it goes that way. Or if you're right, it goes this way. If you're left, it'll be that way. It's different. I've seen Dad make his out of a lot of times, his old files, like that. Most of these knives laying here are made out of files like this. Metal like this. See, it's quite flimsy. This came from those old bucking fiddles they had for the Fallers loggers.
Swedish fiddles?
If you can find these, this is really good steel, really good. And it's easy to work with, you know, they're flat already, and it's a lot easier to work with. Just getting it sharp, that's the thing. That is so, to get it sharp as you possibly can. Yeah. See this? This is 1,000. A lot of times we start with a 600 or 400.
Right.
Say you're making a new knife. We'll start with a rough paper 400, go to 600, and then this will finish it. It's a 1,000. Very smooth.
Yeah.
See this round stick? If I want to tune, they're so hard to sharpen. Once you, I'll do this. See that? This round stick just fits right in there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
See that? You can do this for an hour or so trying to get it good. People rub their knives. And I used to watch Dad before we had this fancy paper. You'd get a chunk of really shiny iron and just keep doing this. Smooth chunk of iron. Just rub it like that. Yeah, it's probably half a day to make a good tool. Yeah, fooling around with it. And if you're working on it and the metal goes blue, you just got to start all over again because it's soft. So you got to go back to square one and turn it red hot. Yeah, it's a lot of work, you know. It's an art too. Besides carving, it's an art to make these tools. I had a whole bunch of these made up. Therefore, when we add to the inside of a canoe, the handle, this is U-wood's probably the best.
U-wood.
It's so hard you can barely carve it. What you do is you go out and you get a branch. You find a branch of, Junior's got a couple, but they're not U-wood. They're another good is a cherry tree. It's got spring to the, you gotta find a branch like that. Cut off a bunch and dry them out. This I made for, a lot of times you have legs on a totem pole. You gotta get right in between those two legs. This knife here It would actually go right in.
Wow.
It's quite sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, so adds to shape the face on it. Take a little more off there later. To clean off a pole like that, it would take us, all of us brothers would use a tool like this one. This one would chop all the sap off, clean the logs off with adzes like this and go right around. So it actually looks like a machine did it. But it took like weeks sometimes for big poles. This will put little adzes marks on it. Makes it give it little special effects to the eyebrow or whatever you want, the cheek or whatever. This one. I like to have marks on the shoulder. It'll be a tool like this. You just carve lines.
Okay.
Make it look fancy. Just think smoky top, shaping those big crook beaks with the tools like this. Wow. Certain ones I got just how I feel this in my hand, and when I'm carving with it, and the flips you can do with it. This one, and this is my exact. It's for the eyes when I dig the eyes out here. See, I'll draw an eye on there. This knife I'll use because it feels so good. I just, yeah, and I go the other way. They're my favorites, and probably this one and this I used a lot. But the big ones only come like totem poles or hauling it out. That's what I use the big tools. This ad's probably 40, 50 years old. My favorite one's in Port Hardy. It was made out of a Volkswagen car spring. Old one. Yeah, that was my favorite tool and I left it up there. Favorite adze. Honeycap. I used to make boats, we call it honeycap. Pull them along the beach. You know, that's when I really started learning how to make tools like these. Especially these. Because these are the tools I use to hollow the boats out. The little boats, and I'd actually put cabins on them. I even made some with trolling poles, put the poles down. I do, I mix my own color. Yeah. I just learned how to by watching Dad. You know, I've said it before, but he used to have all his paints and little clamshells. Them days you had to wait 24 hours for the black to dry, then it turned to the red. It took a long time. But yeah, that's how I learned this, watching them fool around with paints. What else can you do but make wood talk?